Hey everyone, okay, so before we even get started into this video, I talk about the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer as if it's just come out, because when I filmed it, it had just come out, and I'm just posting this super late. So, sorry, but enjoy the video. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this is the look that I did today, inspired by Peyton's makeup, which I show you a little bit later on. But today, in honor of the new Spider-Man No Way Home trailer dropping, we're going to speak all about Spider-Man. I share some theories on the Spider-Man No Way Home movie, what I think could happen, what I've heard, and then also speak about my opinions of the other Spider-Man movies and ranking them from worst to best. So, this is all just my opinion, no shade, no hate, no, nothing. Don't hate on me for it. If you disagree, that's fine. This is just what I think. So if you wanna discuss Spider-Man with me, keep on watching. Okay, so let's get into it. So the look that I wanna do is a look, I wanna recreate a look that Peyton's makeup did. Peyton's makeup on TikTok and Instagram. And she did like a eye look, which was like pink eyeshadow, pink and black eyeshadow, so it was like black eyeshadow but blended out with pink, and it looked stunning. So I wanted to try and do something like that. And then I was going for like that wet hair look. I don't really like the way that it looks right now, but I'll probably like change it up at the end and we'll see how it goes, you know. Okay, so I started off with brows off camera. I tried to do them on camera, but it honestly just wasn't working. So we're gonna start off with eyes, and then I guess we're starting off with the No Way Home trailer. So they really made us wait for that. We got everything else. We were patiently waiting for the No Way Home trailer, and we finally got it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. I think it literally broke records for how many views it got in the first 24 hours, which is crazy. I think it passed Endgame in the amount of views that it got in the first 24 hours. It it was amazing. Literally broke records. So crazy. The trailer as well. I'm so hyped for this movie. The trailer makes it look so good. Oh, for those of you that don't know, the trailer was literally leaked a day before it was released as well. Yet the views for this trailer was still through the roof. I saw the leaked version online and I chose not to watch it specifically so that I could watch the official trailer and be surprised and not know what's going on. I think I watched like the first 5 seconds of the leaked trailer and it just looked so bootleg, like it was a recording of a recording of a recording, like one of those type vibes, and just did not look great. So I chose not to watch it, rather chose to watch the like good quality version that Marvel put out. So the fact that the trailer broke so many records is actually just crazy. Like, can you imagine what the movie would do? um I think it's gonna be amazing. The trailer made it look amazing. I'm so hyped for the movie. I freaked out when I saw like Doc Ock and heard the Green Goblin laugh. I'm so excited. Um, and then I don't think anyone knows this, but Spider-Man was the first hero that I really liked and that I like fell in love with, and that's where like I became obsessed with superheroes and things. Um, Sam Raimi Spider-Man, where Tobey Maguire started Spider-Man. That was the Spider-Man that I saw first, and I loved it. I had a little Spider-Man doll, one of those where like you press his stomach and then it makes like a sound and it says like little catchphrases and things. I loved it. I was obsessed. I don't normally wing out my eyeshadow like this, like it is for this look, but I'm gonna try it and I don't know how well it's gonna go. I want to conceal more because I want to wing it out a bit, and I don't think I dragged my concealer out enough to wing it out. this look is gonna be a bit experimental, so just deal with me, please. Right, so what I actually wanted to do, so I saw the trailer, right? Got super hyped for Doc Ock and Green Goblin. Oh god, my hair. And then I got so excited that yesterday I had to watch Spider-Man 2, the one with Doc Ock. Then I fell down a little bit of a rabbit hole, and then I watched Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And yesterday ended up being a little bit of a Spider-Man day for me then. But that made me decide that for this video, I also want to speak about it and rank the Spider-Man movies so far. Sam Raimi Spider-Man, you know, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, Tom Holland as Spider-Man, and then, of course, even speak about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, because I don't feel like it's always speaked about. Sometimes I even forget about it, I'll admit. So I want to speak about all of it today and rank it from the best to the worst. From the worst to the best. God, my head's not here today. Okay, so I'm sorry. I don't know where my head's at today. Please bear with me. But we are ranking the Spider-Man movies from the worst to the best. So, we're starting with the worst, number 8. And for me, that's The Amazing Spider-Man. I'm adding the black. I'm so scared. Oh, sometimes working with black eyeshadow scares me, but let's go for it and try it. Anyways, so I can't even speak today. I'm so sorry. I told you my head's not here today. Please bear with me. The Amazing Spider-Man is my bottom Spider-Man movie. No hate, no shade, no tea. I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man too much. Sorry, Andrew Garfield, no hate towards you. Think you're a great actor. So literally nothing bad against you. I just didn't think that Spider-Man was the best Spider-Man. I don't necessarily think it's the way that Andrew Garfield played Spider-Man. I think it's a little bit of like how Spider-Man was written. I just didn't like it. I think he looked too old. Like face-wise, facial features, he didn't look like he belonged in high school. So I don't think that really fit well, which took away from the story for me a bit. You know, Tobey Maguire has a young face and so does Tom Holland. So I think they can fit that role of Spider-Man, like as a little 15-year-old boy that's in high school. I don't think Andrew Garfield can. I just think that he's too old and he looks too old. But even if they'd cast a different Spider-Man and kept everything else the same, I think I just didn't enjoy the movie. I didn't enjoy the villain, didn't really enjoy the storyline. I think they could have made it better. I'm sorry, it was the worst one. Did not enjoy it. Period. I have nothing else to say. I don't know. If you disagree, then I don't know. I don't know what you think is the worst Marvel Spider-Man movie, sorry. Because I think all of the other Spider-Man movies are so good compared to this one. This one is just not it. I'm sorry. I cannot get on the bandwagon of liking it. I do not like Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. He's definitely my least favorite Spider-Man. I don't even know what to say. I don't even feel like I need to justify it. Like, I feel like everyone should understand. If you don't understand, then I don't understand. I don't know if this winged out eyeshadow look suits me. But we started it, so we're gonna go for it. The next Spider-Man movies, I literally think that The Amazing Spider-Man, the first one, is the only like proper bad movie. Every other movie I feel like I struggled to rank because I enjoy the rest of them and it's basically just that first one that I don't like. So the rest of them, even though it's in like a order and I did rank them, I don't actually think any of them are particularly bad. I love them all. Like I'd rewatch them all, and I have rewatched them all. So it's really difficult to rank. If you disagree with me, that's okay, because I have literally no hate towards it. I just, some of them I enjoyed more than others, and that's what I ranked it off, like my personal opinion. I'm going to be blending for hours with this look. But then ranking at number 7, I put Spider-Man 3, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. And this was so difficult because I love Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. He is my favorite Spider-Man. Like I said, this is where I like fell in love with heroes, and he was the first hero that I fell in love with, and oh, I was so obsessed. But I have to put this movie, lower down on the list. I like the other ones more. And I think that although it was a great movie, I'm not saying it was bad, I loved it, it was great. I just think that all of the different villains made it like, they didn't need that many. They really didn't. They had Venom and Eddie Brock in there. They had Harry in there, and like he was bad for a little bit. They had Sandman, and I just think it was a lot. Was it necessary to have all of them in there? No, I don't think so. I feel like they could have focused in on one villain or something. You know, it really sucks as well because now they built something so great, and they were gonna have a Spider-Man 4, and then they didn't, which also irritates me. And I think that that's probably like part of the reason why I don't put Spider-Man 3 higher, is because it had potential and they literally could have taken it somewhere, but they didn't. So I have more to say about Spider-Man 3. Didn't like Eddie Brock and Venom. Compared to Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock and Venom, I think I prefer that more. Not talking about like comic book accuracy or anything, just entertainment value of the movies. I preferred Tom Hardy. I thought that was more interesting. I think I also just don't like the fact that Peter and Gwen Stacy had that thing when he wanted to like marry MJ, and kind of sour about that as well. But of course, that's just the story and I get too invested, you know. So again, no hate, no shade, no tea, just not what I preferred, not my top choice. So now we go to number 6, and number 6 on my list is Spider-Man Homecoming, the first Tom Holland movie. So Spider-Man Homecoming at number 6. Firstly, I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man. Obviously, Tobey Maguire is my favorite. Sorry, like the nostalgia will always win. But I think Tom Holland is so good. He's a great actor, as we've discussed before on my channel. I love him as an actor. I think that in terms of like comic book accuracy, to like have a younger actor to play Tom Holland, God, my head is not here. A younger actor to play Peter Parker. I think he is the youngest of the 3 to actually play Peter Parker, which is great because, I mean, obviously that makes it more accurate, because in the comics Peter is supposed to be in high school still. So I like that. You know, and in the movies they actually made him a high schooler, which was great, because in The Amazing Spider-Man they did make him a high schooler, but he just looked very old. In Spider-Man, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, he was, by the second movie, he was in college already, and or university, whatever it was. And Yeah, that was hectic. You know, I expected not not exactly what I like. I like the fact that they kept Tom Holland in high school. I just prefer that. So I like that a lot. I didn't love the movie, however. I thought that I just didn't like the villain too much. I get that whole like debris thing, you know, like after the Battle of New York, now they're getting debris and they're using it to make weapons and make money, and I don't hate that. I just I don't even know how to explain it. I'm making a whole video on it now and I have no idea how to explain it even. The villain is so bland to me compared to previous Spider-Man villains. There's so little action. Um, and I just feel like there's more that they could have done. I don't know. It wasn't my favorite. And I think it's mainly the villain. Like a lot of it was behind the scenes stuff, and there was only like that one massive fight with the villain at the end. I don't know. It just didn't do it for me. I don't even know how to explain it. This is so much darker than I expected it to be. But I'm kind of not mad. I kind of want to do a dark lip as well, and I hope that that will look good with it. I now have to do a cut crease, which I don't know how well I'll be able to do that on camera. I literally already messed it up. So I'm gonna do this off camera quickly and try and get it done, and then I'll come back when I know that I can talk and do makeup at the same time, because I've been struggling today. Okay, I can never get my cut crease lines quite symmetrical, but it's okay. It'll be okay. Anyways, so Spider-Man Homecoming, just didn't love the villain so much. I don't know, overall I thought that the storyline wasn't that great. I was surprised that it did that well and that they ended up making a second movie, because honestly I thought that the first one was not the best. But I think the same with Amazing Spider-Man. I thought that the first one really wasn't great, and I was surprised that they even made a second one. But there they did it. Okay, let's start with this crease, and we're moving on to movie number 5, which unfortunately I'm doing Spider-Man 1, Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Literally just for no other reason except for the fact that I thought the other ones were better, so I had to put the other ones above this one. Other than that, like, this would have been higher, but I just thought the other ones were better. So this is the part where we get into the iconic Spider-Man movies, you know, the ones that I love, I'm obsessed with. And this is probably the part where it was difficult for me to rank them. But we're putting Spider-Man 1 here, unfortunately, because I don't even think it deserves a number 5 spot on any list. But here we are. This is where we're at. I loved it. Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin was freaking amazing. He played an iconic hero, and I think it was translated so well in the movie. It looked great. I loved it. I was obsessed with it. So I was so happy with that. I mean, like I said, this was literally the movie that made me fall in love with Spider-Man and the Spider-Man movies. So I'm obsessed. This pink is looking a little dark, and I feel like I should have used lighter pink. But it looked like Peyton used the same shade of pink. I think I might have messed up. We'll cover it in shimmer. and hope that that fixes things. Let's try now fix whatever it is that I've done here, but it just didn't work. So let's try and fix this while we go into movie number 4, and at number 4 I'm putting Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Don't hate me, I know that people love it and they've put it at like number 1 or number 2 on other lists that I've seen. I'm not obsessed with it, so it was a difficult decision to even put it above Spider-Man 1, but here we are. I didn't love it, but I don't think that that necessarily makes it a bad movie. I thought the movie was good. Like, the animation was amazing, the story and everything was amazing. It was a good movie. It genuinely was. That's what I thought. But the reason why I'm not putting it higher up on the list is just because I thought that, not that I thought, but I actually struggled to get into it. You know, like when I first started watching the movies, I think when it first came out, I watched it a little bit, like maybe the first 5-10 minutes of it, and I don't know, I just couldn't get into it, so I stopped watching it. Then I tried a second time. I think I got about like maybe 20 minutes in, and again fell off the bandwagon and I stopped watching it. The third time I watched it though, I actually watched it, and then I loved it. I haven't rewatched it though. This is, I think, the only movie that I haven't rewatched, and I don't know, I think it's a good movie, but it didn't end up being my favorite, and it wasn't for me. Like, no hate, I love it. I don't know, I love it, but I don't love it. I don't know how else to explain it. So it was good, the animation was great, the story was good. The only reason why I'm not putting it higher is purely just for the fact that I couldn't get into it. Ooh, I think this is looking a lot better. But the only reason why I'm placing it so low is just because I struggled to get into it. You know, it didn't grab my attention from the beginning, which is what I want from a really good movie, and it didn't do that. So, but I don't know if that's just me, because I've heard of a lot of other people, they loved it, and you know, it kind of did that for them. It didn't do that for me. So for my list, I'm not placing it higher. But like the same with number 5 with Spider-Man 1, it's not necessarily to say that it's a bad movie. I personally just struggled to actually get into it and watch the movie. Once I did, I thought it was a great movie, but because I struggled to get into it, I feel like there must have been a reason for that. I don't quite know what that reason is. Maybe I should like rewatch it and see. But I don't plan on rewatching it anytime soon, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see what that reason was. Unfortunately, that's what happened with me, so I'm placing it at number 4. Okay, let's get into the face before we continue with the eyes. Now, we're at the top 3. So for number 3, I have Spider-Man Far From Home. So, I feel kind of bad putting Tom Holland lower than Andrew Garfield, but unfortunately, that's just how it is. I also don't know if I necessarily enjoyed this movie as much as others. I don't know, the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies in general, I thought was a little bit weaker. I thought that they could do better, but once again, not to say that it's a bad movie, not to say that Tom Holland's a bad actor, because I mean, after all, it's number 3 on my list. How bad can it be if it's sitting at number 3, right? I thought Mysterio, I didn't love him as a villain. but I know that in the comics, you know, he was portrayed better. Obviously, it's in the comics, you can portray them differently, and I think that he was a difficult character for them to put onto the big screen from the comics, and I think that they did that quite well, which is why I put it quite high. Like I said, not my favorite villain. I just think that shame Tom Holland has probably the worst villains, um, which is, I think, probably one of the, my face, this lighting is just, I'm sorry. Let's do that. I think that's better, right? Um, he has the weakest villains, which is, I think, one of the reasons why I rank his movies so low, is because I love him as Spider-Man, love him as an actor, but the actual villains in the story, I can't get behind it. It's not my favorite. I just think that they could have done better, whether it's writing them better or whatever it is. I just don't enjoy them necessarily. I look crazy, so let's blend. Um, I think that's also partially why I'm so excited for Spider-Man No Way Home and why I was so hyped for the trailer, is because they're clearly bringing back old villains, and I think that the old villains were the best villains. I'm sorry, Tom Holland. You know, I really expected Marvel, since they bought over the Spider-Man franchise, I expected them to do a better job with it, but I don't think that they necessarily improved on it too much, um, which was disappointing for me. You know, I thought that those movies were quite average, nothing special, and I expected a lot more, and it definitely didn't live up to my expectations. So that's disappointing. And I think the only reason that I rank Tom Holland's Spider-Man so low is that it's not even like a lack of talent or anything, but I think I expected a lot more and they didn't deliver on what I expected. Once again, not to say that it's bad, I expected more from it, you know, especially with Marvel buying over the franchise. I thought it would be a lot more action packed, but they definitely brought it down to like a teenage level since he is a teenager, which makes sense to me. I just didn't find it as entertaining as the others. Still love it, just not as entertaining. With that being said, I do, however, love like certain aspects of the movie. In Far From Home, like, firstly, I love Happy, even in the Iron Man movies. Don't judge my technique here. I think I'm just gonna put on a whole lot of concealer. So, I did like certain aspects of it, though, of Tom Holland's Spider-Man in Far From Home. Like I said, I think Tom Holland's a good actor. We've established this. Um, I like Happy, and I like towards the end of the movie in Far From Home. Oh, I apologize for the lighting. I have no idea what's going on. Please bear with me. When Happy picks him up, he picks up Peter Parker, and you know, Peter Parker kind of has his little breakdown. I thought that part was really good from Tom Holland's side, you know, acting wise. It was really emotional, which I loved. I think I went over my eyeshadow with some concealer. We will fix that up. Trust the process. Bear with me. I'm not a professional. You know, the acting there was really good from both, like, for both Peter and Happy. I love that part. One of my favorite scenes. I think for the Spider-Man, they took the emotional part of it like a step above, which I loved. I love MJ. I love the fact that they did like a whole little tour thing, and the way that it kind of like they use the drones to mess with things, and I thought that they did that really well, and they were able to transfer that really well from the comics into a movie. So I had to put it high because it was good, and I think this one was a lot more entertaining than Homecoming. I enjoyed it a lot more, although I do still think that the villains in Tom Holland's Spider-Man are the worst when like looking at overall what the villains are. Now we're moving on to number 2, and at number 2 I have The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So honestly, I feel like from on one side of things I'm so shocked that I have Andrew Garfield this high up on my list, but at the same time I can't even deny the fact that I have rewatched this movie I don't know how many times. I love this movie so much more than a lot of the others. Um, you know, I love Jamie Foxx as Electro, and I think that's one of the few reasons why I love this movie so much and why I rank it so highly and why I've rewatched it so much. It's just because I think like Jamie Foxx's Electro is he's so good. So that's probably my favorite part of the movie, is just seeing Jamie Foxx as Electro. Not necessarily very comic book accurate. If you look at the way that he looks, you know, obviously very blue, and his electricity is all blue. Not comic book accurate. If you see the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, you see like more of like a golden yellow lightning that we think is Electro, and that's more comic book accurate than this movie. But still, I loved it. I think that for the movie it worked. I didn't mind it not being comic book accurate in that case. I thought it looked really good. I loved it. I think that like made the movie. Harry Osborn as well, loved that. Loved his whole little like his whole story and that part of things. I loved that as well. I think that ended up being great. I don't know if I have to like compare the Harry Osborns like from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man to The Amazing Spider-Man. I don't even think I'd be able to do it. I love James Franco's Spider-Man, but James Franco's Spider-Man, goodness, as Harry Osborn, words really are not just working with me today. But long story short, I cannot choose a better one. I think that they are both great. I love both of their storylines, and in The Amazing Spider-Man, I feel like everything just fit in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. You know, like Harry was great, Jamie Foxx's Electro was great, like everything just tied together so well. I'm not gonna spoil the ending, but I think the ending was like a little bit of a twist, and I kind of like that as well. I thought that was really good. I really loved it. I rewatched it I don't know how many times, so I have to put it at number 2. It's like one of my favorites. I don't know how it's going. Okay, I'm gonna take my time with it, and then we're gonna speak about my number 1 choice, which is Spider-Man 2. I love that one. So I think Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, had the best villains. Even with Spider-Man 3 and all of its 7,000 villains in that movie. Oh, I think I'm messing up this one a little bit, hopefully. I still think that it had the best villains. I loved Sandman, Eddie Brock, Harry Osborn. They had Doc Ock and Green Goblin. I think Green Goblin is just an iconic villain. Oh, I think I need to do this first, at least the black part, before I speak more. Okay, so I apologize for the lighting. When the lighting's funny outside and it's overcast, that tends to affect my lighting inside, so I'm sorry. God, I have no idea how I'm gonna buff this out. Let's pinch this brush. I'm sorry if my technique is wrong. Please, I'm not a professional. I'm just doing things that make me happy. Leave me alone. Anyways, Spider-Man 2. My favorite one. I love Doc Ock. Doc Ock is my favorite villain. I can't even say he's the most iconic because I think that the Green Goblin is the most iconic. But just, I mean, Doc Ock. Come on. I love Alfred Molina as Doc Ock. I think that Alfred Molina himself is also a really good actor, and he really just brought that character to life. It has its downfalls, you know. I don't know. I don't know what Doc Ock is supposed to be like in the comics. I'll admit that. I have no idea. Haven't heard or seen any like comic book things about Doc Ock. So I can't compare him to the comics in that instance. But I think that the arms made him a little bit crazy, but I don't know if the craziness really translated well enough. But still love it. I can't speak bad about it, and I think that he was the only villain whose face they showed in the trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home. So I think that was for a reason. I mean, honestly, he's a very well-loved villain, very hyped. And I think that them showing his face in the trailer just made people even more hyped up. And it was probably one of the best moves that they could have done, because they showed little essences, little clips of like Green Goblin and Electro, possibly Sandman if you look closely, but he's the only one, Doc Ock is the only one where they properly showed him and his face in the trailer. So I'm so excited for that. My hair needs to be re-wet because I think it dried a little bit, but we'll fix that later. Let's first just finish off the eyes. I was thinking of doing a dark lip, but now I'm thinking like a nude would probably be better. I think I'll probably end up doing like a pinky nude, like this one. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see, I suppose. Right, but anyways, now I also want to speak about like the No Way Home trailer because I'm super excited. Let me know what you guys think. I've seen like a lot of theories as well going around already. I know people are kind of predicting that the Sinister Six is gonna be here. I've seen a lot of predictions that Mephisto is gonna be the new villain, which, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, about all of these not conspiracy theories, but like theories of what's gonna happen in the movies been going around. So firstly, I've seen people say that what Doctor Strange did, like disobeying the rules, was out of character. But I saw a TikTok video. God, I'm so sorry, I forgot the username, so I cannot credit it. But it's this girl, and she speaks about superheroes a lot. If you know who she is, let me know. I know exactly who she is. I just can't think of her username now. But she speaks about superheroes quite a lot on TikTok, and she comes up on my For You page a few times. And she has said that what he did in the trailer, like tampering with things and casting the spell even though he was told not to, is actually not out of character for him. Since the beginning, he's had very little character development. He, you know, he tried to play God when he was a doctor, and then when he had the accident with his hands, he then sought out magic so that he could still be powerful. It wasn't, you know, he didn't go through any character development. He was still looking for the same things. He doesn't obey the rules. That's how he is. So it's not actually out of character for him. Which I kind of agree with. Just trying to get my lashes to dry. I don't think it's necessarily out of character for him, and I do think that he had very little character development. I've also seen theories, however, saying that Mephisto is the new villain, which I also agree with. So, for those of you who don't know who Mephisto is, he is a character in the comics, and he also has like magical abilities, so it would fit in well in Doctor Strange. Not in the trailer, Doctor Strange kind of winks a little bit, which that for me seems uncharacteristic. So people think that it could actually be Mephisto and not Doctor Strange, which I also agree on. I think that that could happen. And I'd love to see a new villain like Mephisto being in the MCU universe. I think that the MCU, like, did I just say MCU universe? I'm so dumb. In the MCU, and I think that the MCU is moving towards like a more magical side of things with Loki, Doctor Strange, Wanda. We've seen a lot of magic taking place and like a lot of talk of the multiverse and things. I think that introducing a new magical villain was not far-fetched. So I'd love to see that. I think from the trailer we've obviously seen Doc Ock. I'm sorry, I cannot speak. We heard Green Goblin's laugh and we saw him throw that little bomb. We didn't see him though, so I'd love to see if like Willem Dafoe is gonna actually come back as Green Goblin. We saw Electro's lightning, but this time like a golden color. Love to see what they do with him, if they keep him blue, if they change him up. We also, you kind of see Sandman in it. I don't think it's the most clear picture, so I'd love to see. That's all villains confirmed for the movie, so I'd love to see if they're doing like a Sinister Six team. I'd love to see if they're doing that, or if they're gonna have Mephisto. I think that that's so cool. I know a lot of people have been talking about like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire actually being in this movie as well, and I really hope that's gonna happen. They weren't in the trailer, so we're not sure, but I think Marvel also likes to keep some of their secrets and not tell us until like the movie comes out. So I think that's gonna be exciting. I do, however, think that they will put them in the trailer just because in the spell that we see in the trailer, we see that Tom, Peter Parker, he asks Doctor Strange to make people forget that he's Spider-Man, except for like his close friends and family like Aunt May, Ned, and MJ. So, and then Doctor Strange casts the spell, and we see like time warping and the multiverse kind of the same way that we see it in the Doctor Strange movie. So Doctor Strange could be taking Peter into a different universe where only his close friends and family knows that he's Spider-Man. In other words, those universes are the universe of Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. More so Andrew Garfield, I think. Because I think Tobey Maguire still really tried to keep it a secret. And in Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, you know, Gwen she knew that he was Spider-Man. And I think that that's how they could incorporate Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in as Spider-Man as well in that movie. But I'm just excited to see like how they do it and how it plays out. Okay, so lashes are on. I'm just gonna apply some lipstick. I think my lashes are still a little bit wet, but I'm gonna apply some lipstick, give that time to dry, do my hair, and then I'll be back and we'll finish off. Okay, and so this is the final look. I still have no idea what to do with my hair, but that's fine. We'll wing it. I don't know. But we've discussed some theories and some of my opinions. Let me know if you have any other opinions. Let me know what you think of this look. I don't know what hairstyle to do. I keep on playing with my hair because I have no idea what hairstyle suits this look, especially with my short hair. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have like any different theories or opinions or anything, if you're excited to see the movie. But thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Just wanted to show you guys that this is the final hairstyle I ended up going with. But wow.